Hey there nation, welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to another edition of Necro-Mondays, where we talk about all things Necromunda every single Monday during our science fiction gaming weeks. And this is a continuation for our Anarchy Road campaign that we have for our channel. Our Anarchy Road campaign is a narrative-based campaign that is set in the ash wastes of Necromunda. These are the sprawling wastelands of toxic gas and poisonous air and polluted earth and just all kinds of bad that exists between the different hive cities that are on the surface of Necromunda. And you guys have been watching our series Anarchy Road. You've been seeing the progress that we've been making on that campaign. Now, the thing about that campaign is originally when I put that campaign together, there was only 6 of us who were interested in playing at the time. It was 5 of my friends and myself as well, so we didn't have very many gangs to start off with. But as time went on and we were making the content for them, we were talking about it, other members of my gaming group were really interested in actually joining up with the campaign as well. So as you can see here, we're doing this video to show the other 6 gangs that have decided to join up in our Anarchy Road campaign. So we have 12 gangs in total that will be participating in our homegrown Road War rules. Now, in case you're unaware, we are using homemade rules. We call it the Necromunda Road Wars campaign rule setting. You can find those rule sets on my blogger site. I got them available for you guys to download. And no way are those rules official whatsoever, but that's the rule system we came up for our campaign. If you guys want to download those rules and try it out for yourself, that would be absolutely awesome. If you actually want to make some content with those battle reports, by all means, please link me and let me know, because I'll be really curious to see exactly what you guys come up with. It'll be all kinds of awesome to see how that works out. So as you can see here, we have 6 additional gangs that have joined up with our Necromunda campaign. 2 of the gangs you guys have actually seen play before once already. They were kind of in with our last round of battle reports that we made for our campaign. The other ones, however, have not been able to fight yet because they were still being painted, their vehicles are being assembled, and etc. So as you can see here, we have 6 brand new gangs that we're bringing into the wasteland. So we're going to talk about each of these gangs. We're going to talk about the design elements real quick, and also talk about their vehicles and everything else like that. So let's go ahead and go over the quick overview for the gang. So first up, we got a Venator gang called Thundrik's Profiteers. It is a gang of squat bounty hunters. They will be participating with their vehicle called the Plunderer. It's the name of this vehicle. We'll talk about that gang here in a second. We also have the Neon Knights, which is actually a really cool gang because the Neon Knights are a Saar gang. And we went with this really synthwave inspired look. My buddy wanted to have these guys that look like they're from the 1980s with this synthwave paint job. We also got like these T-800 looking skulls and did these little minor conversions to them to make them look all cool and awesome looking. The reason why they're called the Neon Knights is because we actually put that name out for a poll for you, the viewers, and you guys voted on the gang name that you liked the most. The Neon Knights won, so here we are. You guys might have seen these guys in a previous battle report already, but these guys are absolutely fantastic. We'll talk about that gang here in a second. Our third gang is a Goliath gang. It's one of the smallest gangs we actually have. These guys are called the Stimm-Punks. They're a House Goliath gang, and this vehicle is called the Land Mover, is what it's called. It's a beautifully turquoise-colored vehicle, and these gang members actually have very different paint jobs. They actually have like a light blue to teal paint job on these guys. These guys are also another gang that you guys voted on as well for their name in the polls for that one with the Stimm-Punks one. So these are another gang that will be participating in our scenario, so this is actually really cool. Our fourth gang that we have here, these guys are known as, these guys are a Helot Chaos Cult gang. There we go. So these guys look absolutely fantastic as well. As you can see, these guys are also dedicated to the Chaos God of Slaanesh. That's who these guys are dedicated to, so they look like this wonderful purple, pink, paint job for these guys. These guys look absolutely fantastic. There's their vehicle in the background. That vehicle is called the Procratudinous, and it looks absolutely fantastic. We'll talk about this little gang a little bit more in detail here in a second. Another gang that we have for gang number 5, this is our Cawdor gang. These guys are the Prophets of Rage. They are a Cawdor gang, and their vehicle is called the Cathedral of Rage as well. It's this very interesting coal-powered looking tower thing with crow's nests on it with spikes on the outside of it. Bright red paint job is absolutely fantastic to paint and a lot of fun to do as well. We actually did a couple of painting tutorial guys how to paint these guys pretty quickly. So this is the gang that we have here, the Prophets of Rage. We'll talk about these guys a little bit more in detail here in a second. And lastly, we have the Killjoys of House Escher. This is our very last gang that joined up with our campaign setting. Once again, these guys' names also went up there a poll for you guys as well to see who you wanted to vote for their names. And you guys overwhelmingly picked the Killjoys. Apparently you guys love the name from the original series that we did for the NRI Wars. So we continue on the idea. We continue on that same paint job with the yellow and pink paint job for these guys. They got these really cool looking Higgins boats, landing craft vehicles that they'll be using as well. So yeah, these are the 6 new additional gangs that are joining up with our Anarchy Road campaign, and we're going to talk about each of these gangs in detail. So first of all, we'll start off with Thundrik's Profiteers. Alright, so the very first game we're going to talk about is Thundrik's Profiteers, which is this gang here. Now, like I said before, these guys are actually miniatures from a game called Warhammer Underworlds. I believe it was Shadespire was in the very first season they had for that board game, and these guys were Thundrik's Profiteers, which are, of course, Carrier-drawn overlords is what they are. And they're used for games of Warhammer Age of Sigmar. We're also planning on using these guys for our Mordheim campaign as well. We're actually thinking about doing a map-based Mordheim campaign. And my friend Iron Major, who is the guy who makes all the terrain that you see in our videos, he also plays our dwarves in our Warhammer Fantasy Battle Reports. He wanted to actually play Mordheim, and he wanted to use the Carrier-drawn overlords because they got this really cool steampunky look associated with them. So that's what we decided to do with these guys. These guys look absolutely fantastic. They got your traditional, kind of like that magenta biosuit look. These guys have very much looked like Big Daddies from the Bioshock series of games. So these guys are Thundrik's Profiteers. They will be used as squat bounty hunters. They're in our Venator gang, called the very same name, Thundrik's Profiteers. So these guys have wonderful rules attached to them as well. These guys look absolutely fantastic. Love all the metallic paint that are on these guys. They look absolutely cool. Now, their vehicle that they have is called the Plunderer, as you see here. It is a correct conversion that we did. And basically, for the conversions, what ended up happening is that there was a garage sale in my neighborhood, and this guy had a bunch of tank miniatures that he had on sale that he was giving up for him. Now, a lot of these old tank miniatures had a lot of parts missing off of them, but it didn't really matter, though, because I was able to get each box of tank miniatures that I wanted from him for about $1 a piece, so it was absolutely perfect. So you can see here some of the wheels are missing on this tank piece as well as the track, but that was perfectly fine, though, because the more jacked up looking the vehicles looked, the better they looked. As you can see, we got some boomsticks here in the back of it. We also got this grabbing claw from a 40K servo hauler box set for Kill Team. I believe where we got that from. Just a quick little paint job with these guys to make it look like rusted metal. Want to make it look like it's worn and worn out and weathered. And we glue that directly to the top of this tank chassis as well. So this is called the Plunderers. And the reason why they got such a huge grabbing claw is because this is a gang of bounty hunters. They really, what they want to do is take these claws and then reach down and grab their victim, which is a bounty, and they can put it back in their vehicle and capture them because that's what bounty hunters do best. So that's this gang. Really, really happy about how the way it turned out. Our next gang here is our synthwave-inspired House Van Saar gang, the Neon Knights. As you can see, these guys look absolutely fantastic. Did a synthwave paint job for the very first time in my painting career, painting up miniatures. It was actually very quick gang to paint up. I can see why synthwave paint jobs are so popular amongst people because they're very, very simple to do. My only complaint about doing a synthwave paint job is that, to me, it's a little lackluster. I mean, yeah, it's cool that you got these really cool gradient effects with the purples and the greens and the blues and stuff, and you got a really cool end result when you're doing it. The problem, though, is it's kind of bland. There's no real contrasting colors really to it. So I decided to kind of jazz it up a little bit with the paint job on these guys. So we got these like magenta glowing energy shields. We got these neon glowing going on with their bases as well. We also got green, neon green glowing as well. Some silver skulls, Terminator looking type skulls for these guys. Their vehicle, as you can see here, is called the Steel Dragon. Now this car is actually from a company, I think it's called BMC, I think is the name of the company. It was on Amazon. Around Christmas time of 2020, I was able to buy a bunch of these plastic toys for like about $5. So like this vehicle here, as well as this vehicle here, ruled by the controlled by the Helot Chaos Cultists, that came in a 2-pack. It was like $5 at the time because it was like a Christmas sale going on. So I bought those for a song, and these things look absolutely cool. They're like these little assault vehicles, armored cars with turrets on top. I also got some cargo and stuff on the side of this. It looks really, really awesome as well. In fact, these things are about the size of a Taurox, which is a vehicle that's used by the Imperial Guard, I believe, or Astra Militarum, as you guys call them now in their 9th edition 40K rules. So if I was ever to play 40K, I would use a bunch of these vehicles as Tauroxes because these things are super cheap and you can fill a lot of them really quickly. So you can see we got this really awesome synthwave paint job on these guys. That one is really, really cool as well. Alright, our next gang that we have here are the Stimm-Punks. The Stimm-Punks are a Goliath gang. And as you can see, we got one guy back here. Hold on, let me pull this guy out real quick. He's kind of hiding back there as well. So you can see we got 7 Goliath members. We decided to go with a different paint job on these guys. We want to have a darker skin tone on these players, and we also want them to have like this kind of like turquoise light blue armor. These are colors you don't typically see on Goliath gangs who tend to usually use reds and oranges and stuff. But, you know, why laugh in the face of, you know, mediocrity and, you know, be daring and bold and do your own thing? So that's exactly what we did. This vehicle here is a landing craft, I believe is what it was. It's actually made by that same company, BMC Toys, off Amazon. I think we get it for $5. Got this beautiful turquoise paint job on this vehicle as well. It's also got like 2 machine guns, 30 caliber machine guns, a 50 caliber machine gun as well. As you can see, we also added some boomsticks to the outside of it. In case you're wondering what the boomsticks and the boarding pikes are made out of, it's just pieces of floral wire that we painted up and used some green stuff to make the explosive charges. Used some skulls that we had. Let me see if I can equip that skull. Zoom in a little bit. There you go. We have some of the skull miniatures that we used from that we managed to get from our different boxes of miniatures to make these quick conversions. So these guys look absolutely fantastic. These guys are the Stimm-Punks. And these guys are definitely using the House of Chain rules. These guys are all VAT-born, I believe is what they're called. And they all have this upgrade where they all have +1 toughness. So these guys are toughness 5 Goliaths, which means that these guys are not going down no matter what you hit them with for the most part. So this is one of our deadliest close combat gangs that we actually have. Sorry about scooting around on my chair here trying to get a better angle for you guys. This is also a really fun gang to paint up, and their vehicles is very, very interesting looking as well. Alright, our next gang is the Advent Children. This is a Helot Chaos cult game that is dedicated to the Chaos God of Slaanesh. These guys are really fun to paint. I really like this pink paint job that we decided to use on these guys. My friend wanted to go with this purple, pink, and teal look for these guys. And of course, I was more than happy to oblige her on their vehicles. And these miniatures are actually kind of cool. It's actually a combination of 2 types of miniatures. The first type are some Chaos Cultists from the Dark Vengeance box set that we did some conversion work on. So for example, this guy here, we actually made him look like he's got like some kind of cowl over his face because this miniature was actually damaged when I got this guy. I got him for like $1 at my local gaming store. Threw in a flamer on his arm so that he carries a heavy flamer. We also got a Chaos Cultist here. I replaced his arm with a Genestealer Acolyte hybrid arm holding a hand flamer. And his head is actually an unused head from Hellstriders. Same thing with this guy here, as well as this guy, the unicorn here in the back. Now, the second type of miniature that we have in here are from the Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress line. These guys are the Cultists of the Abyss. So we got this guy with this huge flamer, who's the gang leader, as well as this champion as well. We got this character back here, the Heavy Stubber, a character with a grenade launcher. We got several characters armed with autoguns who look really, really awesome as well. And this vehicle here is called the Profiteers. This is a vehicle that's used by the Advent Children as well. Like I said before, it's the exact same toy as the Saar vehicle as well. The only difference, though, is I decided to add some spikes to the outside of it, as well as a huge skull, as well to adorn the hood piece as well. And if you're wondering what the spikes are, actually what I did is I took a pin drill, a vice drill, and what I did is I just drilled into the actual structure of the vehicle and drilled the holes, and then I took the tines off of plastic forks. I cut them off and I stuck them through those holes with some glue and some epoxy to make them look like spikes that were kind of coming out of it. I was kind of inspired by the buzzards from Mad Max Fury Road. They got these vehicles, all these spikes on the outside of it. But at the same time, though, this is a Slaanesh gang, so we didn't want to really go with a rusted paint job. So instead, we actually paint each of the spikes turquoise and pink in alternating colors to give it kind of like this weird purplish, you know, very Slaanesh-y type of look to this gang, which is really appropriate because this gang is dedicated to Chaos God Slaanesh. These guys are the Advent Children, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Really happy with the way that paint job turned out. Our next gang, of course, is the Prophets of Rage. This is a Cawdor gang, and we actually did some conversion work with these guys. As you can see, the heads are actually Adeptus Mechanicus heads for both Skitarii Rangers and I forgot they all called the other guys. The guys with the normal helmets. So as you can see there, we have like this. And the reason why we did that is because those helmeted characters, like this guy here, had like this very medieval sallet type helm with a beaver mouthpiece, and it looked very medieval, which is appropriate because the Cawdor guys, if you look at them, they kind of dress up like, you know, Bretonnians a little bit with their cowls and their cloaks and their robes and things. And the Skitarii Ranger heads with the hoods, with the gas mask, they just look really, really awesome as well. So that's what we did. We traded out the heads for these heads instead. So these Cawdor gangers look really, really intense. We also gave them this orange and red paint job to inspire flames with yellow, so they look like they're fire, and it looks really awesome. We also got a cheap shot video about how to paint these guys up. Will be coming at a later date. So this gang is really, really cool. And their vehicle is called the Cathedral of Rage. It's another tank miniature. I believe it's a Leopard, I think. I really don't know what kind of tank it is, to be honest. I really don't know. It's some kind of tank toy, but it didn't really matter though. The turret was missing on it. So as you can see, we put some sprue pieces here to make boarding spikes. We got our boomsticks, of course. And then we have some smokestack miniatures that I was able to get for the cheap for Kill Team. And I glued them to the top of this thing. And we painted them up as well to make what's a vehicle up here called the Crow's Nest. The idea of the Crow's Nest is that so long as the Crow's Nest is above the line of sight for cover, it ignores cover, you can shoot weapons from it. Now this turret that's on the top is actually an old pewter Chaos Predator turret, I believe. It's from like the 4th edition of, 4th or 5th edition of Warhammer 40,000, I believe. I got this years ago, this piece here. I bought a box of bits and this was in it, and I bought it for like a couple bucks. This is like over 10, 15 years ago. And I just use it for, you know, bits and bobs and for conversion work and things. And so I decided to finally use it by gluing it to the top of this tower thing. If you're wondering what the base is here, this tower root cap here, that's actually a 32mm circular base. And this one over here is the same thing. It's another 32mm circular base as well. And it just makes a perfect little crow's nest for the top guy here. And same thing with the turret. So I just glued that to the top real quick. Did a beautiful bright red paint job on this to inspire flames. And I'm really super excited because the new Book of Faith is coming out. I believe it's called as a Book of House of Flames or House of Faith. I forgot. It's the new codex for the Cawdor gang. I'm looking forward to that one a lot because I originally played Cawdor when I first got into Necromunda. And in that book, there's another gang coming back from the golden age of Necromunda, and that gang are Redemptionists. Those guys were so cool looking. They look like Spanish Inquisition Inquisitors armed with like chainsaws and flamethrowers. So I'm really excited about that book coming out because Redemptionists are coming back, and Commander Cheapskate might be doing that because he's nostalgic that way. All right, the very last gang we have, of course, are the Killjoys, which is an Escher gang. Got some new edition Escher miniatures. These Escher miniatures here, as well as the Goliath miniatures there, are actually from the original box set of the re-release box set of Necromunda from 2017. I just never used them or never put them together. And the reason why is because my gaming group and I, we actually converted a bunch of our own miniatures. If you guys ever watched our series Tales from the Underhive, when we first did our classic Necromunda Classic Battle Reports, pretty much all the gang members that we had were all converted over, made from conversions, using a combination of Chaos Marauders and Catachan Jungle Fighters and bits and bobs of different miniatures and things of that nature, as well as Dark Eldar. We used those guys to convert all of our gangs, so we had no reason to paint these guys up or to use them because we had our old gang system. But because we want to do Anarchy Road and these miniatures look really awesome, we decided to use these guys as well. So you can see we adopted the same yellow as well as pink paint scheme that we had from the Killjoys from the Underhive Wars. There are 8 of them here. They also have 4 of those Fear Cats. They also have 4 Fear Cats in this gang as well because they have 2 Wild Runners in this gang. But those guys aren't on the table right now because those guys are being painted right now. But as you can see, it looks absolutely awesome. These vehicles here are Higgins boats, made by the same company, BMC, I think is the name of the company. And I got 4 of these for $1. Oh, not for $1, I'm sorry. 4 of these for $5. So almost $1 a piece, a little more than $1 a piece. But they look absolutely fantastic as well. They got these cool looking turrets, and they got these gang planks and stuff. Very, very quick to paint up. We got boomsticks on the back of these vehicles as well. Absolutely wonderful. And they got this bright magenta pink paint job to match up their gang colors as well. These guys were a lot of fun to paint as well. And this character here, this is our Death Maiden. That's why she's got that kind of like grayish, sorry, there we go. She's got a grayish paint job. It's because she's supposed to be a Death Maiden. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. Now, if you're wondering about this Escher gang leader, she's got a chain sword. You might be wondering, wow, is it because your friend likes playing with the chain swords? No, what ended up happening is this character originally came with a shock whip, but the problem is that shock whip miniature got broken. So because of that, we replaced it with the chain sword instead. A little bit of ingenuity on our end, so it was really cool. But there you have it. These are the Killjoys of House Escher. So yeah, these are the 6 gangs, additional gangs actually, that will be participating in our Anarchy Road campaign. So our campaign has grown exponentially with the number of gangs that were involved. We originally started off with 6, and now we're going to a whopping 12, which is absolutely fantastic, because all it means is that things are going to get really chaotic now and really crazy in the battlefield. I'm really excited to see exactly these gangs throwing it down on the White Line Nightmare of Anarchy Road. So that's going to do it for this week, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is always appreciated. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest, greatest hobby news related to our channel. That's good for this week, guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.